Hello everybody, welcome back to aceofarch. If you've never opened SketchUp before, or are a beginner, this is the perfect place to start. In this video, I'll walk you through step by step through everything you need to know to start modeling in SketchUp 2025, from basic tools to building your first 3D model. So the wide open space here is going to be our model space. This is where our model is going to be built. And above that is going to be our toolbar. I'm going to quickly go through everything in our toolbar just so you're familiar. First, we have the cursor, select lines, faces, and objects. Next, we have our eraser, basically delete all of that. Our pen tool, you draw basic lines. Arc and curve is drawing lines with arcs and curves, obviously. Rectangle is to draw rectangles quickly. Push-pull makes any 2D object a 3D. Offset any lines or shapes. Our move tool, move objects, lines, or shapes. Rotate is to rotate any lines, objects, or shapes. Our scale tool, that's just to scale stuff to your appropriate size. Flip or mirror tool is to flip or mirror any object. Our tape measure is to be used to measure lines or to set guides. Our text is to add text into our model. Paint bucket to add textures to our model. Orbit to orbit around your model. Pan to pan around your model. Zoom to zoom in and out. And our 3D warehouse and extension manager is to download other stuff into our model that has already been created. Obviously, that was really quick going through our toolbar there, but if you have any questions or want to see more, I have other videos about how to use the tools. And honestly, in this video, we'll be able to get to know them a little bit better. So, before we start modeling, it's important to know how to move around your model or scene. If you hold the scroll wheel down on your mouse, you'll be able to orbit around. To zoom in and out, obviously, it's just your scroll wheel. And then if we go shift and scroll, or shift and then push down on your scroll wheel, we can pan around our view. So now let's start drawing here. So we're going to use our rectangle tool, which we found up in the toolbar here. A shortcut to get there is we can also hit R on our keyboard. Now we're going to make a rectangle here. You can also type it in exact dimensions if you want. So if you look down in the bottom right corner, I'm going to make this 10 feet, comma, 10 feet. And that's going to give us a perfect 10 foot by 10 foot square. Now, to make this 2D object 3D, we're going to use our push-pull tool up on our top bar here. And we can simply pull it up. I'm going to also do this to exact dimensions where I can type 10 feet. So here we have our box. That's human scale. What we can do now is we're going to obviously create a 3D shed or house, a little structure. We're going to use our offset tool. So our offset tool here is in our top, obviously, and this is what our offset tool does. So we're going to pull it out, and it's offsetting that whole face. For the purpose of this, we're going to offset it to 2 feet for our roof overhang, and we can simply do that by typing down in the bottom bar. Next, we're going to go back to our push-pull tool, the one we just used, and we're going to pull this down to 6 inches. This is going to show us our depth of our roof and our depth of our overhang. Now, for the purpose of this video, we are going to be doing a super simple roof. So what we're going to do is we're going to select our pen tool, and we're not going to click. We're just going to slide it along this top line here, and it's going to give us this little blue point is going to be our midpoint. What we're going to do from here is draw a line directly across and click again. Now we're going to do the same thing to this line, which is true. We're going to find our midpoint, and we're going to go straight up on our blue axis, and we're going to go 6 feet. That's going to give us our line up there. Now to create our roof, it's going to be super simple. We're just going to use our pen tool, and we're going to connect these 4 corners to our peak. This is going to give us our roof. So there you have it. You have your structure basically built at this point, and now it's just about adding windows or doors. So to add windows or doors, For windows and doors, there's no really right or wrong way to do this. Um, Obviously, there's ways that will look better, but for the purpose of this video, since it is a beginner's tutorial, we're just going to do super basic. So let's get into it. We're going to select our rectangle tool, same one we've used before, and we're just going to draw a rectangle on the face of our front face here. Now to add window casing, we're going to use our offset tool, and we're going to pull this out. Let's just say it's 3 inches. And that's going to give us our window. Now, obviously, it's not super realistic. That's a great starting point just to get the feel of all the tools. Next, we can use our line tool, and we'll basically just draw a door. So obviously, our door, will make it 7 feet. Make it 3 feet. And this is going to be our door. Now, same thing that we just did, we can offset that line just to make it so that it has a bit of depth. And this is where you should be at. Now, to make this look better, we're going to use our paint bucket tool. Our paint bucket tool is located in our toolbar, and we're going to go ahead and select that. It's going to bring up all these options in here. I'm going to minimize it and just make it a bit smaller so we can actually see our model while we do this. At this point, it's basically your personal preference. So say we want to use some wood. We'll make our trim wood. We can make our soffits all wood. And this is simply just by selecting it and clicking on what you want. So for our windows, we're going to use glass. So we just go to our glass tab here, and we can use our glass. You can select it, every different one, and just see how it looks. As well as your door. Say we want a wooden door, we'll go back to wood, and we'll make it a bit off there. There's also things you can use, such as brick, and just select it. So obviously this is more personal preference than any skill or anything I'm going to be able to teach you. One thing I will leave you with here, well, after I put on this roofing, sorry. So one thing I'll leave you with is what we can do after we're done this is we can go back to our push-pull tool, and we can just give this window some depth. So that all I'm doing is just push-pulling out a little bit. You can measure this, or you can just do it by eye. Obviously, if you have exact dimensions or you're following plans, there's going to be certain requirements. But this is just a very simple way to get started. If you made it this far in the video, I greatly appreciate it. And if you could subscribe, that really helps me make more videos. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please leave them in the comment section. Thank you.